if you've ever had to step out of a life you once believed was home, with nothing but your own breath, you will understand her. She closes the door behind her. In her hand is one small suitcase. 37. In Mississippi. And for the first time in many years, she doesn't know where she's going. She only knows she can't stay any longer. This is a quiet story about letting go of who she used to be so she can meet who she really is. Late afternoon. The apartment hallway is long and yellow with dim lights. No one is there, only the soft hum of the AC and the smell of old carpet. She stands at the door for a few more seconds, like standing on the edge between two worlds. She turns the key slowly, not because she's hesitating, but because her hands are still trembling. No one teaches you how to leave a marriage you once thought would be your whole life. The door closes behind her with a small click. A normal sound, cruel in its simplicity. No music, no movie lines, just that click and an empty hallway. She places the keys on the small table by the door. That table used to be where she left mail, takeout bags, and the things he always said. Just leave it there, I'll clean up later. Today, it is where she sets down an entire roll. Outside the building, her car is parked. The trunk is already open. She pulls the suitcase, one step at a time, like walking out of a dream she's no longer allowed to believe in. Her suitcase is honestly very light, because she didn't carry much. A few clothes, an old notebook, a photo of her mother. That's all. But her chest feels heavy as stone. Heavy not only because of divorce, but because of how everything happened. A text message she saw by accident. A phone call someone forgot to end. A name she didn't recognize. Sweet words she hadn't received in a long time. She remembers the feeling. Right there in the kitchen, the lights on, dinner still warm, and the world slipping out of her hands without even a sound. She asked him. He denied it. He went silent. Then he admitted it, as lightly as a small mistake on a work calendar. She can't remember what she said. She only remembers one sentence ringing clear inside her head. So all this time, I was living inside something that wasn't real. She thought she would scream. She thought she would break something. But no. She went quiet. So quiet, she was afraid of her own quiet. In the days after, she felt like a house with the power cut off, still standing, but pitch dark inside. She left not because she was angry, but because she couldn't breathe in that home anymore. She closes the trunk, sits in the driver's seat, staring at the road ahead, not knowing if she's driving with her eyes or with pure instinct. And she doesn't know yet that in that empty rented room, she is about to touch something she has forgotten for a long time. The new rented room is in a quieter neighborhood a few miles away. Not big, not pretty, but empty. She turns on the light. A weak yellow light spills over blank white walls. A single bed, an old wooden wardrobe, and a bare floor. The heater clicks and rattles like it's trying to warm up a room that doesn't know her yet. She sets the suitcase down, doesn't open it right away. She just stands in the middle of the room as if she can't tell what her body is supposed to do next. Outside the window, cars pass. Voices drift up from the street. Life is still loud, like every other day. Only she has been separated from it. She sits down on the floor, back against the wall, hugging her knees. And suddenly, she realizes she can't cry. Not because she isn't hurting, but because it hurts too much, like a rope tight around her throat. Tears gather at the edge of her eyes, then dry up. In that silence, a question quietly blooms. If I'm not his wife anymore, who am I? She lived inside that role for almost 10 years, a role she wore like a perfect coat. So perfectly, she forgot where her own skin was beneath it. Night. She steps into the small bathroom, looks at herself in the mirror. A 37-year-old woman, dark circles under her eyes, messy hair, pale lips, no wedding ring, no we to lean on, just a human being breathing in a strange room. She looks so long, she feels her reflection separate from her. And for the first time, she realizes what hurts the most is not losing a man. It's losing the image she had been living inside. A good wife, the chosen woman, a stable family, an image she kept trying to hold together, even though inside it had been cracking for a long time. She clung to sentences like, "I should have been happy. Love should have been enough. If I tried harder, everything would be okay." Those shoulds are what made her suffer, clinging to an illusion, then blaming herself when it disappeared. She stands there, hand on the sink, breathing out a long, heavy exhale. And deep inside, a small voice rises. I lost the mask, but maybe I'm about to meet myself. She walks back into the room, sits on the floor again. This time, tears fall softly, not in a flood, like a light rain after a long drought. She remembers all the times she stayed quiet. Quiet when he came home late and only said, "Work ran long." Quiet when he stopped reaching for her hand. Quiet when she felt lonely inside her own house. Quiet because she was afraid that if she spoke, everything would break. She remembers how often she asked herself, "What did I do wrong?" She fixed herself, shrank herself, rounded herself into shape, as if being good enough could bring love back. Now, in this empty room, she asks a different question. What do I need? Not who she needs, not a late apology, just something far simpler than that. She needs a corner of peace. She needs a life where she doesn't have to beg anyone to stay. She needs to be herself, not the woman trying to fit inside a story that is already dead. She places a hand on her chest. Her heart is still beating, steady, real, as if saying, I'm still here. Early the next morning, she wakes up while the sky is still grey. Not because she slept well, but because her body is used to waking up to start the day for two people. Now there is only her. She makes a cup of hot water, stands by the window, watching thin mist over the grass. She whispers to herself, "He should have loved me. I should have had a whole home. At 37, I shouldn't have to start over." Then she stops. She realizes should have is a rope. It keeps her in the past. It makes her believe the past must be different for her to survive. But the past doesn't change. It already happened. Letting go of should have is not forgiving betrayal, not saying this was okay. It is stopping herself from being tied to a story that isn't real anymore. She didn't just leave a man. She left the version of herself that kept begging to be chosen. She exhales, a little lighter, like setting down a bag she carried for too long without knowing how heavy it was. She finds in her suitcase the tea her mother sent last month, chamomile. She brews a small pot. The scent opens slowly in the room, like comfort without words. She sits on the chair, hands around the cup, feeling the warmth. She breathes slowly. Inhale, exhale. Not trying to think, not trying to forget, just breathing. In that quiet, she begins to hear very small things. The soft creak of old wood, the Mississippi wind slipping through a crack in the door, a distant bird call. Life is still happening. It doesn't ask what she lost. It doesn't demand she be strong right away. And then she understands. Breathing is also a way to survive. Sitting still is also a way to begin again. She doesn't need to become someone else today. She only needs to never abandon herself again. That afternoon, she cleans the room, not to make it pretty, but as if saying, "This is where I will live." She wipes a small corner by the window. She sets there a tiny plant she bought from a nearby shop. Not a big plant, but something she chose herself. Not a gift from someone, not something someone said you should have. Only her choice. She opens the window. A gust carrying damp earth and fresh grass after rain fills the room. So ordinary, so real. No promises needed. She stands there for a long moment. She is no longer the wife left behind. She is a woman learning how to return to herself. Slowly, but truly. And in that moment, she knows. Sometimes we don't lose life. We only lose the mask we were living inside. If you're also stepping out of an old life, I hope you walk very gently toward yourself.